Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Cruising Altitude. Welcome back to the Cruising Altitude if you are a return visitor. I do hope you're enjoying my videos so far. This one is going to speak into the vegetarian options on board. I have done and uploaded a full dining one of all the places we tried on board. However, this one is going to speak into the more dietary restricted options, including vegetarian and gluten-free. And I'm going to put this at the start. Don't know if it's a disclaimer, but I'm just going to say it. I, on the ship, had no intention of creating a video when I was on there. I took a lot of pictures because I just enjoy taking photos, but some of these restaurants, some of these things I might speak about, I may not have imagery to go along with that. So I do apologise. I will try and put in any relevant images that I have, but this is going to be more voice guided than image guided, I believe. So let's get on with the dining options. So let's start out in the King's Court buffet, and this is for vegetarian options. In the main buffet area, I found quite a lot of choice, including things like vegetable curry, jacket potato with a variety of toppings. They had corn meat or corn meatless meat, I guess you'd call it. And they were making meatless burritos with spicy peppers and onions and cheese. They had lots of vegetarian pasta dishes, a salad bar. There was definitely no issue of feeling like a rabbit, which I have done in other kind of holiday vacation places. They tend to assume, a lot of places I've found assume that because I'm vegetarian, I live off lettuce leaves, which is not true. I like substantial meals. So this was really nice that they had actually really thought out options for vegetarians. They weren't just kind of throwing rice and carrots at me every day. So that was really nice. And also within the King's Court buffet, there is a vegan section that I've mentioned a little in my dining video, but there was an entire section dedicated to vegan, gluten-free, lactose intolerant, that sort of thing. And that was adjacent to the chef's galley in the King Court's buffet. And it includes everything, like anything you can think of that would be somebody without dietary restrictions existed in this vegan gluten-free section. So, for example, you could get cream cheese, mayonnaise, they had peanut butter marmalade, every type of non-dairy milk that you could think of, they had there. They had Vegemite. I'm a huge Marmite fan. I know, love it or hate it, I love it. So that was really nice to find on board. There were also a whole plethora of vegan desserts, which I'm not vegan, but I was eating a couple of these. I tried to be respectful of people with dietary changes, but when they brought out, huge, like masses of desserts, I was trying a couple, and those were, they had vegan red velvet cake, key lime pie, they had raspberry mousse, they had chocolate mousse. There was also, so leaving that section, there was also a burger bar or a grill area, and that was also near the chef's galley. So they didn't show that they had vegetarian burgers there, but if you requested it and asked them, they would go and cook you something fresh. Which no problem, there was no real time delay on it. It was taking as much time as the regular burgers. Plus it was fresh, so that was really, really nice. They also had vegetable pie, like a proper crusty, I was going to say meaty pie, but it was vegetarian, but like hearty, that's the word I'm looking for, hearty pie. And then going back into the vegan section, there was also, like within that section, but slightly off to the side, there was a gluten-free section, and that had all sorts of options, including gluten-free breads, croissants, cornflakes, fruit muesli. There was also gluten-free dessert options, which included cakes and puddings. So this was really nice, partly because I'm not a huge fan of kind of dining in loud cutlery clinking, silverware clinking restaurants. It kind of hits my anxiety a little bit. So to have a buffet that I could get like decent meals from was fantastic. So this was like one of my day-to-day go-tos for the daytime. But I'll head into a couple of other options here to talk about where we dined in the evening when we were getting dressed up, or just when we kind of wanted to do something a little bit different. Next up, the Golden Lion pub. They had just one vegetarian option in here, as well as some chips or fries that you could get. But I will say, and I mentioned this again in my other video on all of the dining options that we tried, it was delicious, and I really had no issue uh, going for this on more than one occasion. And so that was a portobello Wellington, and so it had a grilled portobello mushroom, creamed spinach, it had sweet potato slices inside, and Danish blue cheese. And that was all inside a puff pastry casing. And those flavors, again, I'll say this 1,000 times, vegetarian options generally in places that don't necessarily get a high number of vegetarians, um, they don't necessarily think about like the flavors and stuff, right? It's almost this mentality of as long as somebody eats something, then they're fine, which yes, to some extent, but it is nice to kind of be included when they are doing, menu options and stuff. So again, this was really nice to find on board. The difference in flavors, like the sweetness of the sweet potato and the slight sharpness of the blue cheese, the different textures of the pastry, and then the mushroom, um, was really nice. You could also get, so I mentioned fries earlier, but you could also get a side of vegetables or fries if you wanted, and that was really nice, and also very relaxed, like British pub type environment, which yeah, just nice, trivias, quizzes, a couple of discos, and also I loved sitting there and watching the waves kind of hit the windows. That was always like really cool. So yeah, Golden Lion Pub got a huge thumbs up from me. And last but not least, I'm going to be covering our meal at the Veranda restaurant, or the vegetarian meal at the inside the Veranda restaurant. This is a paid restaurant, so it is not included as part of any, free dining on board. However, when we sailed, I think it was pretty reasonable for onboard dining, and those prices at that time were $25 per person for lunch, and then $39 per person for dinner. However, given that we've been through COVID, there's been no cruising, everything's stopped, I think things are going to start picking up again. Um, I guess that pricing is just ballpark figure, because obviously nobody really has any idea of what that's going to look like when things start sailing again properly. Anyway, so let's get into it. So for an appetizer, I chose the goat's cheese baked beetroot um, salad starter appetizer. And let me start with this. I am not a fan of appetizers. I'm not a fan of salads. Um, I just find I'm starving, honestly, afterwards. They just don't excite me. Give me a chocolate cake any day. Give me cheese. Give me anything but salad. But it looked like a good option. So this came with candied pecans, wherever you're from. um, and it was just the perfect balance. So there was kind of just enough cheese to go with the radish and the lettuce, and the cheese obviously makes it a little bit more filling than just a salad. So I was pretty pleased with that option. And just to note, there was another option for Caesar salad. I'm not entirely sure if you could get a vegan option with the dressing there, but I'm pretty sure you could, because they were very, very accommodating to lots of dietary restrictions. So just wanted to throw that in there. However, I did not try it. Next up, my favourite. Oh my goodness, I was so excited for this one. So, the restaurant served the Beyond Meat burger. If any of you have ever tried that, as a vegetarian, this is man's greatest invention in my world. In my world, yeah, absolutely delicious. Bear in mind, I have never eaten meat, at least for many, many years. I'm not going to give my age away, but this sometimes, vegetarian, you still crave that kind of chew, that texture. So Beyond Burger is amazing. Anyway, I digress a little bit. So to pull this thought back in, there was an option for this burger, the vegetarian Beyond Meat burger, and that came with halloumi cheese on top, as you can see there. Oh my goodness, so delicious. Tomato, jam, dill pickles, crispy onions, and then it was placed on a brioche bun, and then it also had truffle mayonnaise and a side of fries. And I'll say just here, this is still one of my most favourite meals that I've ever had on on water, in a ship, on land, anywhere. Just the combination of the kind of sweet, crispy bun underneath and that subtle truffle mayonnaise flavour that was like just like a breath of flavour, if you know what I mean. And then you had the juicy Beyond Burger, plant-based burger, the crispy onions, which again was sweet, and then you had like the slight saltiness of the halloumi cheese. I opted to have a salad, as you can see here with mine, but the whole thing, and it was so filling, even with the salad. I was going to aim for some fries, but honestly, I was on one of those days where I was trying to pretend that I'm healthy. Definitely not. But the salad made me feel better about my plate. So, but yeah, absolutely delicious. And like I said, I literally still talk about this meal to this day. When my mum, sometimes will say, "What do you want for dinner?" And I'm like, "Oh, I want that burger from the veranda." So that concludes my vegetarian option reviews on board the Queen Mary to Cunard ship on a transatlantic crossing. We'll say they were very accommodating with dietary restrictions, and there were probably more options on board that I saw or tried, but I think it's only fair to only review the things that we actually ate, tried, enjoyed, saw, Otherwise, I'm just reading other people's reviews and kind of reiterating them, which I don't think is fair. So, these were the places we tried, and we found them absolutely divine. So, thank you so much for watching, listening, looking at my wonderful picture display. I am still learning the skills of this movie making, and I'll try to include more video elements as I kind of switch into different ships and I have different footage. I mentioned at the beginning, I wasn't really planning on making these videos initially when I took these photos. So as we move forward, I will have hopefully better videos, I hope. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. You can hit the notification button if you want to know when I upload. I'm trying to get better at this and record these videos for you guys. But yeah, thumbs up, subscribe. Would love it. Please say hi down in the chat below if you have any hints or tips. I would love, love, love to hear them. Love to hear where you go on vacation. Where's your favourite place? Do you have a favourite ship? Mine, I'm a huge fan. This is going to sound awful because I've just done a video on Queen Mary. I'm a huge fan of celebrity cruises. Absolutely love them. So I will be doing reviews on their ships soon. Fingers crossed. Yeah, but other than that, go and check out my blog if you so desire. It is thecruisingaltitude.com. I have a plethora of blog posts on my cruises, hotel stays, travel, yeah, and all of that fun stuff. So guys, I'm going to say goodbye now before this runs into a long video of me actually doing an outro that's longer than my actual video content. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you on here again soon. Bye!